Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emily. I'm a mom who loves home decor, thrifting, and a good DIY project. Today I am going to be sharing 5 thrifting mistakes. I have been thrifting for years and I have made every single one of these mistakes and I continue to do so. So I thought I would make this video and maybe I'll get it through my head to stop making these mistakes, and maybe it will help you out too. Before we really jump into things, if you haven't already, you guys can subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and for more of my everyday life, follow me over on Instagram at EmilyFaith22. Let's get started with these 5 thrifting mistakes. Tip number 1. The ugly duckling. This tip is for when you're at a thrift store and you can't find anything. You're searching through the rack, everything, for lack of a better word, is ugly. It's not your style, you're not digging it. But then you come across an item that, hey, this one's not so bad. It's kind of cute. Like, I think I like this one. This is what's actually happening. There are tons of ugly items and now a semi-cute item. So what does your brain tell you? This is awesome, this is great. But if you saw it brand new in a store, you'd probably pass right over it. Look out for the ugly duckling. If you guys are in a thrift store, you're not having any luck, and you come across an item that you think is kind of cute, like you think you like it, just ask yourself, would I actually like this if I saw it in a store brand new, or really is this just the best thing on a rack of ugly items? Tip number 2, overpaying. Guys, you know that thrift stores are getting so much more pricey these days. Maybe you live in an area with some really good mom and pop thrift stores. Those are usually the best pricing. Go to those, support those small thrift stores. Of course, in my area, one of the best thrift stores in town, Value Village, it does have the most inventory, I guess you could say, and so I go there frequently. It is getting really, really expensive. I've definitely put some things in my cart and forgot to really pay attention to the price tag, and then when I'm checking out, I'm like, whoa, what did I just pay for this t-shirt that I plan on cutting? Way too much. Pay attention to the price tags. Thrift stores are no longer a guaranteed good deal these days. Of course, there's a caveat to that. I would say if for whatever reason they priced it way higher than it should be, at least make sure that it's worth it brand wise. So if it's a really nice brand and you know you're still getting a good deal, or if it's vintage and you just love it, then I feel like, you know, it might be worth that little extra dollar, but it isn't always. So know what you're buying and what you're paying for, and don't overpay. Tip number 3, this kind of goes to the flip side of this overpaying, and that would be buying things just because they're cheap. Sometimes you put something in your cart because you see that it is such a good deal, like $1 or $2, and you're like, yes, this is such a steal of a deal, like I have to grab it. But then you didn't need it. It sits at home in your closet, never worn. It sits at home on a shelf, in a cupboard, hidden away. Buying things you don't need just because they're cheap, I feel like it's still a little bit wasteful. Tip number 3 is just because it's cheap doesn't mean that you need it. Make sure you need it, you'll wear it, you'll love it, then go for it. Tip number 4, buying clothing with rips, stains, itchiness, pilling, all of the above. Just don't do it. This is actually something I constantly do. Learn from me and don't do it. I went through a season of always buying itchy sweaters and never learning my lesson. I would buy them because they were just so cute and I couldn't pass them up even though they were a little bit itchy. I have tried to make sweaters not itchy. It hasn't worked. Just don't buy itchy sweaters. On top of that, shirts with pilling, rips or stains, they just don't look nice. Obviously, if something like a stain can easily come out, then sure, but, or if it's a rip that you think you could easily stitch, yes. But I'm not a seamstress by any means, and I'm not really good at getting stains out. So for me, it's usually better to just stay away from clothing with stains or rips or itchiness or pilling. Just stay away. Tip number 5, and this is my last tip, and I want to add right now, this tip actually is kind of not possible to do as we're still kind of in the middle of a pandemic and thrift stores are a little different nowadays. But my tip number 5 is to always try things on. Since I haven't been able to try things on, I have bought a handful of stuff that doesn't fit me right, that I don't like once I get home, and it's a real big bummer. My Value Village, you can exchange things, so I have been doing that, but there's a different thrift store that I also frequent that I bought some things and I can't return them, so now I'm just left with them. And of course I could try to sell them, but sometimes it's more work than it is worth. I understand that right now this tip doesn't really apply, but when it does, make sure you try things on. There are some really cute things that I thought were a winner when I was able to try it on. Just looked terrible on me. So you never really know how something fits you, how something looks on you until you try it on, and vice versa. There were some things I put in my cart that I thought were for sure not gonna be good, and then lo and behold, they were the cutest thing, the thing I ended up buying. So when you can help it, always try things on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you found these 5 thrifting mistakes helpful so that you guys can be sure when you go to the thrift store not to make these mistakes. Also, leave a comment down below of common mistakes you make so that we can learn from your mistakes. Again, if you guys aren't, I would love if you would subscribe. I'm really trying to hit that 100K mark this year, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you're not, follow me on Instagram at EmilyFaith22. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye! Bye.